Vickie and I have worked together for over 4 years now, and it's an honor to work with and learn from Vickie. I knew that we were doing great work at Clinic when Vickie approached me about joining our team. I thought to myself, wow, a legend like Vickie Neilson wants to work with us? We're doing something right. I can always count on Vickie to provide wise, reasonable, and honest advice. I 100% trust her opinion on pretty much everything. And this trust derives from her stellar work product, analytical skills, clear communication, commitment to justice, and vast and varied professional experience, of course, but also because it's so easy to relate to Vickie. I mean, here is this giant in the field of immigrants' rights who wore leather, rode a motorcycle, engaged in civil disobedience, and loves good beer. When it comes to leading our team at Clinic, the way that I describe her is that she's really the flannel shirt to my Doc Martens, the Stone Gossard to my Eddie Vedder. And we all know that Doc Martens don't have the same flair without a flannel shirt, and that Gossard's rhythmic guitars carries Eddie's voice. Everyone who knows you adores you, Vickie. Thank you does not suffice, but thank you is where it starts. So thank you and huge congratulations, my dear friend and colleague.
Congratulations, Vickie Neilson, on receiving the Legal Services Justice Award. I can't think of anyone who is more deserving of this inaugural award. I've known you now for over 10 years, and I still remember the days when you interviewed me to be your paralegal at Immigration Equality and when you hired me then and again as a staff attorney. And it was those years at Immigration Equality where I witness firsthand what it means to be such a powerhouse advocate for your communities. I'm also grateful to you, Vickie, for your leadership on the Immigration and Nationality Law Committee. Those 3 years as your secretary were wonderful. And I thank you also for urging me to succeed you as the chair. Following in your footsteps and filling your shoes was a big ask and very intimidating, but I thank you for believing in me. And one thing that I want everyone to really realize about Vickie Neilson is that I have always known her in positions of management. And throughout my entire time that I've worked with Vickie and known her, she has always centered and elevated the voices of people of color. And this includes in decisions relating to hiring, promoting, and especially when it comes to representing clients. Vickie has the natural desire and belief that all clients should be centered, and she really, really prioritizes and elevates people of color, which is something that I admire about you, Vickie. It is part of what makes you such a champion. And so thank you for everything you've taught us and all of your leadership. And again, I raise a toast to you, Vickie Neilson, and I'm very happy and proud of you.
One of the highest ideals of our profession is advancing justice for all in our communities. The National LGBT Bar Association was started by attorneys with deep ties to public interest and legal services work. This award was created to recognize the work of those providing legal services to poor and working class LGBTQ people. Legal services attorneys' work makes the legal gains of our movements for justice real for thousands of people in our community. Having a lawyer on your side can mean staying in your home, being able to afford healthcare, keeping your job after you've stood up to a transphobic boss, safely leaving an abusive relationship, or even being able to remain together with loved ones in this country. The selection committee for this award includes attorneys with collectively more than 100 years of practice in legal services and public interest. We unanimously selected Vickie to be the first recipient of this award. Vickie has dedicated her career to protecting the legal rights of LGBTQ immigrants long before many in the mainstream movement recognized immigration as a key issue of justice for our community. Vickie's work has made a difference to thousands of LGBTQ immigrants at crucial times in their lives. Vickie has also supported and mentored other attorneys doing this work. She is respected and beloved in both the immigration and LGBTQ+ legal communities. As a queer immigrant myself and an immigration attorney, I am so grateful that she is in our movement and delighted to be able to present this award to Vickie Neilson.
Thank you so much for the incredible honor of receiving this inaugural award. I'm especially honored to receive the Legal Justice Award because of its recognition of the crucial need for high-quality legal services for low-income and other marginalized members of our community. Movements move forward in many ways, and we often recognize the leaps we take through the work of heroes of mine like Suzanne Goldberg, Mary Bonato, and James Essex, without whose work I wouldn't be living with my beautiful wife, Pam, and our lovely 3 children in legally recognized relationships. But at the same time, our legal system has made these leaps. There are hundreds, maybe thousands of LGBT lawyers making a difference in LGBT clients' lives every day, one step at a time. Each of those cases, every hard-fought family law case, every hard-fought housing case, immigration case, can change somebody's life for the better. And every step that we move forward with one individual helps move our movement forward and toward justice. I started working at the HIV Law Project in the 90s with Terry McGovern, another legal giant in our field, who taught me that while no case is too big, no case is too small. In the beginning, I did anti-eviction work for people living with HIV, and then I moved into immigration work where we fought against deportation for people whose lives were literally at risk if they had to go back to their countries. After that, in 2003, I moved to Immigration Equality, then known as the Lesbian Gay Immigrants' Rights Task Force, or LGRTIF, the world's worst acronym ever. I work directly or by mentoring pro bono attorneys with hundreds of LGBT asylum cases. Those cases changed my lives as I heard about the horrific conditions that people were fleeing, from a Saudi Arabian client whose lesbian partner was sentenced to 40 lashes, to a Nigerian client who fled out the window of his apartment while he left his lover behind to be beaten by an angry mob. Each of these cases helps a person move from fear to freedom, though none of them was a headline-grabbing case. One step at a time, we changed people's lives. I remember when I started working at the intersection of LGBT and immigrants' rights, people would say, LGBT rights? Wow, that's really hard. Fast forward 2 decades, and now people say, immigrants' rights? Wow, that's really hard. In the past few years, I've shifted from working exclusively from LGBT immigrants to working with immigrants more generally. And I've seen how vulnerable this community is. Whether it's a family fleeing gang violence and corruption in Central America, or a transgender woman who cannot imagine living openly in her country. All of these people need our help, and we have to rebuild the asylum system that's been systematically dismantled during the past 4 years. Each of these people deserves a home where they're free of harm and able to live safely. I thank you so much for this award and for your recognition of the importance of the work so many lawyers do every day, one step at a time, changing one person's life at a time. Thank you.